Welcome to the SEC Unfiltered channel. I'm your host, Dave Shumate, lead college basketball analyst here at the SEC Unfiltered Network. Hey, first of all, let's get right into it. This Wednesday night reaction is brought to you by our new title sponsor, FANDUEL. Visit FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today and get started with $150 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Let's get right into it, guys. It wasn't. Look, we're not going to sugarcoat things right here. I mean, our name's SEC Unfiltered. It wasn't the most glamorous night on the hardwood. Again, you're going to take any basketball in this league, especially how good the league is. They're sweating. I mean, you had Ole Miss, South Carolina close. It's not even finished yet. Some of the Mizzou fans, probably when we start talking about this game may end. There's a minute 58 left. Missouri currently leads 80-54. Missouri's pretty much been in cruise control the whole time. And then Arkansas is a big second half to get past LSU. So, I mean, there's really this is one of the slower midweek nights, I would say, around the SEC. If I had to say, again, I think the lineup kind of said that going into it. If we're just being completely fair, if we're being completely honest, we kind of knew that. The 5 better games in the midweek were this week. But let's get right into it. Share it here for you here. Ole Miss getting the 72-68 win over South Carolina. Again, South Carolina just finding a way to lose games. Just consistently finding ways to lose games, especially at home. Again, Auburn, close game down to the wire in Columbia. Mississippi State in overtime. Florida, buzzer beater. Chalk this one up. Ole Miss had a chance. South Carolina just continues to find ways. Ole Miss improves to 19-6. 8-4, South Carolina 10-14 overall, now 0-11, and I should have finished my sentence. South Carolina continues to find ways to lose basketball games. I mean, again, you don't watch this team and be, man, what a terrible brand of basketball. I mean, it's not great all the time, but I've seen worse teams. It's wild to say they're 0-11, but Ole Miss shot 45.5% from the field, 61% from beyond the arc, 44% for South Carolina, 28% from beyond the arc. Rebound advantage, South Carolina was +8 from that perspective. Total turnovers, 9 for both teams. Ole Miss's largest lead, they got out to like a 13-point lead in the first half. You thought Ole Miss was like, hey, playing pretty well here. Maybe South Carolina's quit a little bit. But no, South Carolina made a run. Again, it was a 10-point game in the half. South Carolina made a run late, took the lead in the second half. Kyle Murray Bulls had 20. It was kind of surprising. It was kind of this close, if I'm being honest. I'm looking at – because remember, I'm reacting to the box score and stuff before I go back and rewatch these games later. So I'm looking at what was the point? How many free throws difference? 14-17, 32. Yeah, I mean, and think about it. How Ole Miss kind of won this game, it was really from the three-point line. I mean, they only shot 17 threes. They shot 13 threes, but 8 for 13. They shot 17 free throws to South Carolina's 32. I mean, I know the home court advantage, you get a favorable whistle. But still, South Carolina had a real shot to win this game. Kind of surprising they didn't, especially the way they played in the second half. I mean, they outscored Ole Miss by 6 in the second half. Ole Miss played a little sloppy there. We saw Malik Dia flash at times for him, looking like he's taking us back to when he played in Tuscaloosa. He played against Alabama in Tuscaloosa about a month ago, going 18 points, 7 for 12, 2 for 3 from beyond the arc. He had 2 more Rebels, 2 starters in double figures. Matthew Morrell with 10. He's been getting a little bit more comfortable. Dre Davis with 12. Jamin Brakefield with 14. That's what I like to see with Ole Miss recently is Brakefield and Matthew Morrell starting to come on. The older veteran players, that's something you like to see if you're Chris Beard. Again, the Rebs get to 8-4 in league play. Con Murray Bulls with 20. Nick Pringle with 12. Front court played well. Jamari Thomas with 11 and 7 off the bench from Benjamin Bosman's Verdonk. So, again, Ole Miss, you're taking any road win you can. Again, you don't really laugh at this because you got to think as 3 other teams, the 3rd-ranked team in the country, the number 1 ranked team in the country, all came down to the wire. And though in Mississippi State, who's going to be a tournament team, it's not – I mean, I think the only team that really kind of handled South Carolina at home this year so far has been Alabama. But what is next for the Ole Miss Rebels, folks, heading into the weekend? They host their big rival, too. I mean, we talked about Alabama Auburn this week. We got a big one, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Ole Miss trying to get revenge for that overtime loss at the Hump a couple of weeks ago. Mississippi State comes to town just trying to get a win anyway, anyhow, after a tough – I mean, losing 3 of the last 4. Ole Miss was their only win in that 4-game stretch. So, again, going on the road, any road game is going to be tough. but a big opportunity for Ole Miss here. Big opportunity here for Ole Miss to get a big win in from the against Mississippi State in a game where, I mean, these two teams aren't far from each other in the standings as well. What is next for the South Carolina Gamecocks in Lamont Paris? They're just trying to get a win right now. Trying to get a win. They head to Florida. It's going to be tough. And their next shot is the next game, right? Next Tuesday night, February 18th at LSU is their next best opportunity. That's it. Again, it doesn't look like a terrible team, but at times, sometimes, not in all sports, but your record, you are what your record says you are. South Carolina currently 10-14, 0-11 in league play, folks. But Ole Miss getting a big road win. You take them anyway, anyhow. And we just finished, folks, listening again. Missouri gets the 82-58 win over the Oklahoma Sooners. We'll talk about that one in a minute. But let's move over to Fayetteville. Let's go to Fayetteville in a must-win situation for Arkansas. They get it done. You couldn't really afford it a home loss to LSU this year, but they didn't. They pulled away in the second half. They get the 70-58 win over the LSU Tigers. The Arkansas Razorbacks do. The Razorbacks improved to 15-9, 4-7 in league play. LSU 12-12, 1-10 in league play. Arkansas shoots 51% from the field, 33.3% from beyond the arc. LSU 39% from the field, 25% from beyond the arc. Again, LSU just a little consistent, 50% from the free throw line. They only shot 6 free throws. South Carolina 17 rebounds. Arkansas plus 6, 39-33 advantage. Turnovers weren't bad. There weren't a lot of turnovers in the ninth games. Outside Oklahoma was really bad, but we'll talk about that in a minute. 9 turnovers. Arkansas was plus 1 in that. Largest lead was 12. The largest lead for LSU was 5. I mean, Arkansas outscored them by 13 points in the second half, 36-23. I mean, this is a 1-point LSU lead at half. Cal and the boys regrouped at half, got a big win. Big Z's just been turning it on, man. 25 points. They're putting 27 up against Alabama on Saturday night. I mean, that's really the difference. LSU just did not play well offensively. Only 58 points in today's college basketball. Not going to get it done. Not really going to get it done at all. I mean, with 10 more shots than Arkansas had. That's just bad offensive basketball for LSU. It's bad. And Arkansas is not some phenomenal defensive team either. Big Z, 25 points, 10 for 13 from beyond the arc. 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Or I should say 10 for 13 from the field, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. 11 points, Nelly Davis getting more comfortable since Boogie Flant's been out. 10 points for DJ Wagner. Billy Richmond with 4. For LSU, I mean, Cam Carter, it's usually him, 13 points. Robert Miller III with 16 off the bench tonight. Victorious Miller with 9. Normally the turnovers are the big issue. That wasn't it tonight. They had, 9, I said? Yeah, because Arkansas was plus 1. But I don't know, man. It's tough to get real fired up about this LSU team. I mean, them and South Carolina play next week for probably who's going to finish 15th and 16th. We'll find that out that night, most likely. And maybe not, but it'll be interesting. Again, LSU, what's coming up next for Arkansas? The Razorbacks, Cal, and the boys will go to A&M, an early game, 11 a.m. on Saturday on ESPN. Not a must-win because that A&M's not going to be a big one. God, that'd be a big resume win. I mean, their next 2 road games are just opportunities here. Their next 2 games at A&M, at Auburn. You'd just love to go 1-1 in that one. But it starts Saturday around brunch in College Station. For LSU, we mentioned earlier, Tigers will head to Oklahoma. So that's a big game. Oklahoma can't afford to lose that one. They're pretty much in the same boat Arkansas was in tonight. LSU cannot afford that one, but LSU will be looking to potentially get a win in Norman or still win at South Carolina or still want to get home against South Carolina. So those are the next 2 games for those teams right there. Again, Arkansas just getting a win, a big second half push. They couldn't afford it, this loss. You've been playing well. You'd beaten Kentucky. You'd beat Texas. You dropped one late against Alabama where you were Alabama controlled that whole game, but Arkansas had a late push. Maybe you felt a little disappointment, but a bad first half, but you know what? You bounce back the second half. You get any win in this league, you just keep going, and maybe you get one of your next opportunities. That's all you can hope for. Again, at A&M, at Auburn, it'll be tough, but it's potential opportunities down the line from that one. And then, like I mentioned, Missouri getting the 82-58 win. I mean, this was a 44-24 game at half, 20-point game at half. First of all, Missouri at home, they're going to be tough for anybody. Missouri at home is going to be an absolute beast, folks. Let's don't sugarcoat this here, but it's going to be. Again, Alabama plays them next midweek after the Auburn game. That's a tough slate right there. I mean, but they improved to 18-6, 7-4 in league play. Oklahoma drops to 16-8, 3-8 in league play. Missouri here shot 54% from the field, 33% from beyond the arc. Oklahoma 31% from the field, 22% from beyond the arc. I think the big disparity here was the turnovers. Yeah, 17-12. I mean, Missouri at 12. I mean, it's not great either, but 17 on the road against a team like Missouri who thrives on forcing turnovers. It's going to be an issue. To me, it feels like Oklahoma has hit a wall. And again, I think with the way they played in non-conference, that Michigan win's aging well right now. That Arizona win's getting a little better. I know Oklahoma lost, but I mean, that Arizona win is looking a little better. But I know they just recently lost. But still, especially the Michigan win, I think Oklahoma can get in with 7 wins. But man, you got to start getting them somewhere. You're now 3-8. You got to get 4 more. You'd love to get 5 more to make you an automatic, but just feels like they kind of hit a wall. Jeremiah Fears, Jalen Moore at times, Sam Godwin. It's just like everybody gets so many. I mean, how many points in the paint did? I mean, 40 points in the paint for Missouri, just dominating, plus 16 in the paint. Like, that's the problem. They really have no rim protectors. Muhammad Wagi and Sam Godwin is just not getting it done this year. It is what it is. It's just a total weakness of the team. They're just hitting a wall. Jeremiah Fears should still be in high school, graduated early. Just, I don't know. I just feel like they're hitting a wall from that perspective. Let's hit the box score here for Missouri. 25 from Martin Mitchell, who's just been a dominant player, one of the best portal additions from Duke. 6 for 12 from the field, over 2 from beyond the arc, 7 boards as well, 25.7 boards. Just one of the more underrated players in the league. Anthony Robinson with 10, Tony Perkins with 12. Overall, a lot of guys got some minutes. I mean, how many guys played tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 guys for Dennis Gates. I guess that's what happens when you're up 20 plus, got up to 30 plus in the second half. For Oklahoma, 10 points for Jalen Moore, 18 for Duke Miles. Again, Jeremiah Fields over 4 from beyond the arc, 3 of 13 from the field, only 8 points. I don't know. It just feels like something's going. I don't know. It's just a team maybe peaked a little early. And like I said, 2 things to be true at once. They're much improved this year under Porter Moser. But the SEC is just a total beast. Really got no points from their bench. I mean, combined, they got what? 9 points from the bench. Not great. Not great, folks. What is next for Oklahoma on the horizon here? They go to Georgia. Missouri. What's next for Missouri? Missouri goes at Georgia. It's an interesting game. Georgia seems to hit a wall, similar to Oklahoma. It's going to be a big opportunity for Missouri. It could be a big road win. You know Georgia's going to be backed into a corner, hoping they can get a big signature win over an NCAA tournament team like Missouri. So that's an under-the-radar game on Saturday. For Oklahoma, we mentioned they will host the LSU Tigers at Lloyd Noble Center. So that'll be an interesting one there. They can't lose that one. Similar spot, like I mentioned, to Arkansas. You can't be losing LSU at home, or really at any point this late in the year if you're trying to get into the NCAA tournament. But the standings now, folks. Here we go. Officially, let's see. Official. 10-1 now, Bama and Auburn as we head into the weekend, tied for first place. We had that showdown coming up on Saturday. We talked about it. Florida and A&M tied at 8-3. Ole Miss at 8-4. Missouri 7-4. Tennessee 7-5. Kentucky 6-5. Mississippi State 5-6. Vanderbilt 5-6. Arkansas 4-7. Georgia 4-8. Texas 4-8. Oklahoma 3-8. LSU 1-10. And South Carolina 0-11. So it's kind of where we stand right now, guys. But fighting for those top 4 seeds. Tell me for a moment. I'd like to hear it. Okay? But obviously, Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Missouri. Those are the teams with 4 less losses in league play. Again, remember, Alabama, Auburn tied at 10-1. Florida and Texas A&M both tied at 8-3. Ole Miss and Missouri played a different amount of conference games, but both sit with 4 losses. Then you got Tennessee and Kentucky, both with 5 losses. I mean, Tennessee probably losing the tiebreaker to Kentucky, losing both those games as they lost last night. I don't know if Tennessee gets a 4 seed this year. That is wild to say, folks, because we were talking about this team fighting for a number 1 seed. Again, you can tell I'm not as high on Tennessee as I am on a lot of other teams just because of that offensive ceiling. I mean, I would really say it's Alabama, Auburn, Florida, A&M, Ole Miss, Missouri. And if Kentucky go on a late run, but they're banged up, you add in the Lamont Butler injury, Kirk Freese will probably be out for the rest of the year. So I really say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to say Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Missouri. I think 4 I think you will find the top 4 seeds will come out of those 6 teams. Like I mentioned, for the people in the back, Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Missouri, Tennessee, I think are going to be – sorry, I didn't mention Tennessee. Sorry. Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Missouri, I think are going to be the 6 teams fighting for those top 4 spots. That's what I'm saying. You feel really good about Auburn and Alabama right now, probably even Florida. So you're probably sitting there like A&M, Ole Miss, Missouri, and they're within a game of them. A&M obviously up 1 on Ole Miss and Missouri right now. So that'll be interesting for that spot right now. Just to preview quickly, just go over Saturday's matchups for you real fast. Let's pull it up before we get you out of here. Again, kind of a shorter reaction because there were just kind of blowouts outside of the Ole Miss South Carolina game. But coming up on Saturday, Arkansas at A&M at 11 a.m. Is that Central? Let's see. Yeah, 11 a.m. Central on ESPN. Vanderbilt at Tennessee. Tennessee trying to get revenge on Vandy at Thompson-Boling Arena at 12 p.m. Central. Missouri at Georgia, 2:30 p.m. Central. Auburn at Alabama, 3 p.m. Central. That's the big one. Mississippi State at Ole Miss. Again, one of the more underrated games as well. Like I think Missouri, Georgia is too, but specifically Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Ole Miss trying to get revenge off that overtime loss at the Hump a couple of weeks ago. 5 p.m. Central. LSU at Oklahoma, 5 p.m. Central. Kentucky at Texas, an interesting one as well, 7 p.m. Central. And then South Carolina at Florida, 7:30 p.m. Central. So all 8 games in action, guys. Fun night, though. Fun night. Again, we knew going into it. Probably wouldn't. Could be some fireworks how close these games are, but again, didn't really live up to it. But again, it's SEC basketball, guys. We're going to get fired up about it. We have a phenomenal weekend ahead, guys. A phenomenal weekend ahead. We got Alabama, Auburn, 1-2. First 1-2 matchup in SEC basketball history. Again, we got Ole Miss, Mississippi State. That's phenomenal. Georgia, Missouri, Texas, Kentucky. Texas trying to get a big win as well. But guys, again, join us tomorrow. Join me tomorrow. It won't be a reaction. It'll be Dave Knows Ball. We'll have Chris Phillips here live with us. We'll have JBR Bracketology talking about it. And then I will be going live on Saturday night reacting to all 8 matchups. Obviously, the big Alabama-Auburn one. And I mentioned Ole Miss, Mississippi State. But guys, before we get out of here, guys, just want to make sure when the game tips off, you know, the NBA action is just beginning on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because FanDuel is your home for NBA live betting. So even if you miss the first few minutes of the game or you want to bet on the fourth quarter comeback, you can make your picks for the first whistle until the final buzzer. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join. New FanDuel customers get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today. That's FanDuel.com/SECU for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with the Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.com.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpline.ma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Guys, I appreciate you joining us on this reaction. I will see you tomorrow night for Dave Knows Ball, or if I don't, I'll see you Saturday night for the next reaction. You have a great rest of your week.